Welcome in to the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Gerald Bourget, Saul Bookman, and Espo.
Gregory, a.k.a. Mr. IT, a.k.a. Mr. I have technical issues all the time.
I'm in a closet. What do you want from me? All right?
We literally placed bets on what was going to be his excuse for being late today. Was it going to be technical issues or was it going to be something about his daughter? And Lindsay and I won.
My daughter is sick, too, so Gerald kind of wins as well.
Oh, man. I was close.
We all win.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You all can go to hell, all right?
Everybody wins but Espo because he's the one struggle bussing tonight. Hopefully things turn around with a win by the Suns over the LA Clippers. Hopefully this one goes in our favor. How you guys kind of feeling about this one? I know coming into the game and just the season in general, there was a lot of conversation about what the Clippers would look like, how successful they would be now that they seemingly have a full healthy squad.
Honestly, I don't feel bad. I think that this is a veteran team, and I think they're going to be just fine. The Clippers are the Clippers. We still listen. They're already in game 2. They're already in midseason form with time management or load management with Kawhi. It's like Jesus. He had a whole year off. Like, what does he need load management for? So I'm excited to see this. The actual full Clipper squad that everybody said would give the Suns trouble. I want to see it tonight. I want to see what's at stake because I'm just excited to see the Clippers play. To be honest with you, I want to see how we match up and how much we can beat their ass by.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Kawhi. I'm going to pull a Gerald right now. He's got to prove it to me.
Lord,
okay?
Here we go.
Before I'm willing to say he's back, he's got to prove it to me. And like Saul said, load management 2 games into the season after you've missed an entire year, but you were really capable of playing for like half that, according to reports. I don't know, man. Kawhi is a strange cat. Paul George has looked pretty good so far, but I need to see the Clippers do it for an extended period of time before I pencil them in as one of the elite in the West. A lot of people pencil them in as 1 or 2, them in Denver 1 or 2, and those are teams I will believe it when I see it. And until then, you got to prove it to me.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of the opinion that they are going to be one of the elite teams in the West, but I am interested to see how they look tonight because, as Saul alluded to, Kawhi and John Wall didn't play in their last game. And the Clippers are 2-0, but they've, narrowly beat 2 very underwhelming teams in the Lakers and in the Kings. Paul George has looked really good, and he's been a Suns killer for years now. So that's one thing to definitely keep an eye on. But I am curious about this group because we've seen DA get off to a really strong start this season. And this is a Clippers team that likes to go 5 out as well. They like to play a lot of wings. They like to try and use small ball to punish other teams whose bigs aren't as mobile. And so we all know DA is one of those rare mobile bigs who can actually make you pay for that on the other end. So I am interested to see how he fares against this lineup, how the Suns bounce back from an overtime loss that, frankly, they should have won. It should be a good game, and it should be an early barometer for kind of where these 2 teams are at in the lay of the West.
I will say, even though we're talking about Kawhi missing last night's game for the Clippers due to what they call return from injury rehab. So I'm glad, though, that he did sit that game out because if he hadn't have sat that game out and he played both last night and tonight against the Suns and he had a garbage game against the Suns, the narrative would only be, oh, well, it's because they're on a back-to-back. It's because he's trying to get his legs underneath him, get back into game shape, all that kind of stuff. At least now, if Kawhi comes out and doesn't have a Kawhi-esque type of game, or it's because the Suns keep him from going off, then it's a Suns thing. The Suns did that. And there wasn't any other excuse in the book that you could really point to say why he had a bad game against the Suns.
Oh, Lindsay, I love that you feel like that'll be the case because even if he has a crap game, it'll be, well, he's just getting back into the rhythm of the game. You know,
I mean,
he
fair.
hasn't played a lot, you know, so it wasn't really the Suns.
I mean, it's hard
This
to get
is
into a
true.
rhythm when you play every other game. I mean, like, let's be real.
That is true. Hopefully they won't have to do that for very long into the season. Hopefully it'll only be like maybe a month or so, and then they'll actually be just the normal rotations and minutes allotted to each individual player, so that when we play them again and whoever plays them, it's not these weird like little conversations. The one thing that I am curious to see tonight is who, aside from Devin and DA, steps up for this team, because you know that Devin and Paul George are going to go toe-to-toe as far as scoring, right? So they kind of cancel one another out. You need somebody else to offset whatever other person on the Clippers side is going to probably contribute offensively for them. Somebody on the Suns side has to step up in a pretty big way.
Well, the one guy I'm looking at, and I'm going to continue to look at probably for the rest of the season, is going to be Mikal Bridges. He's the one that's reliable. He's the most reliable of anybody on the Suns team. He's missed the least amount of games in his tenure with the Suns, and offensively, there's just still a lot to be desired. He still hasn't, he still is not shooting at a very decent rate from 3-point range. He's still trying to find that in his game, and then he always surprises you on the fast break in terms of how he can move the ball around defenders and get to the rim. But then he's been very, like, you wouldn't even know he was out there against the Portland Trailblazers the other night, especially in the fourth quarter, not offensively. You know, he was just kind of non-existent. And that can't happen when you're the third or fourth best player on the team.
I also think with Mikal, like we've talked about this before, as far as the Suns needing to generate more 3-point attempts, like Mikal Bridges has attempted 2 threes through the first 2 games. That number needs to be way higher per game. On a per game basis, that number needs to be higher. So I am hoping that they're able to generate a little bit more activity from 3-point range, especially with Cam Johnson in the starting lineup. Like, you need to capitalize on what these guys do well, spread the floor, and get up as many threes as you can. Otherwise, we're going to keep having this conversation about the battle that this team is waging against simple math. Like, you've just got to get with the times and hoist from 3-point range.
Yeah, for me, I think, I gotta see it from the bigs tonight. I gotta see it physically. I've got to see them make the easy buckets. Now, DA came through, but I need to see, Cam Johnson, if he's out there and how long he's out there. What is he offering from the power forward spot? I need to see Jock Landale get in there and mix it up offensively. Any minutes Bismack gives you, I need to see rebounds and tough defense. I think this game's going to be won in the paint, and you're going to need to come up big with those guys.
I did find it interesting. So Dwayne Rankin talked to Jock after Friday night's game against the Blazers. And of course, he missed that putback that could have sent it to double overtime. I did like what he said, though. I mean, it was obviously it's the right thing to say. I would have surprised me if he said anything else, but he took full accountability for it. Talked about how he knows that they put him out there because he's a good offensive rebounder. And when he gets those offensive rebounds, he has to finish the job. Like, just getting the rebound is not enough. Finishing the job is what he really has to do. So he's well aware of that, but I do think he's got the right, like, mental space and just confidence to be able to learn from that mistake and moving forward, be better in those types of really important situations that he'll probably find himself in throughout the season.
Yeah, it's the old be quick, don't hurry, right? Like, and he hurried. He rushed that because it's not a position he was used to being in, and it cost them because he had the layup if he had just taken the time, and he had, I think, 1.8 seconds to do it in. So you hope Jock learns from that and he says all the right things. So I assume he will. I don't know about you guys, but kudos to Dame Lillard. We didn't quite catch this fully in the post game, but when he walked up to DA and basically said, "Yeah, you ever been here before?" "No," kind of thing. Credit to him. That's a vet move, getting in a guy's head.
We talked about it in the post game.
Not fully. And when you watch the video too, it's It's great. I give props to Dame for that. That's a veteran savvy way to go about things.
That one definitely went viral. I saw that all yesterday and even some today on all of the social media accounts that I have. It was just one after the other what Dame said to DA. So everyone enjoyed that, except for us, of course.
I think it's so overblown. Like, guys talk to guys on the free throw line all the time.
I think it's just because
especially with the game on the line.
Yeah,
like, you know how many times that happens in the season? Like, why is this such a big deal?
Because we don't normally hear what is actually said. Normally, they just say, "I'll leave that for our conversation between the two of us." We don't usually get to know exactly what they said to one another.
Yeah, because usually it's like, "Don't choke, motherfucker."
Well, I mean, and usually it's not as overt as that. I mean, he walked right into his face. Like it wasn't like he was off to the side waiting for a board chirping at him. He made a point to walk up to the line, say something to him, and walk back to his position behind him. So.
Well, there is some good news heading into tonight's game. Cam Johnson is available. We were unsure if he was going to be able to play tonight. He was listed as questionable with a right hip contusion from the fall he took Friday night. And Saul's boy, Landry Shamet, who was out for the first 2 games of the season with a left hip strain, will make his season debut tonight because he too is available.
So I have, after long consideration and thought, I've decided I'm not going to be negative anymore. Okay? I'm not going to be negative anymore. So to do this, however, I need to take matters into my own hands and control what I can control. I will no longer talk about Cam Johnson or Landry Shamet until they do something that actually contributes to this team. That's all I'm going to say. There you go.
See, that's just inherently negative.
That's more so. That's just trolling at that point.
It's like you missed the whole purpose.
I'll say what Saul won't hear. Look, Cam Johnson is available until he's not. And what we've seen is it's about every 5 minutes that he's not this year so far. I need to see him play a full game without getting dinged up or having somebody cough on him or having him trip over his own shoelaces. I need to see Cam Johnson play a full game. That's all I'm asking for. I don't care if he puts zeros in every column. Just play the whole damn game.
Oh, we're doing this after 2 games, huh? This is what we're already doing this.
It's only been 2 games. He's been hurting 2 games back to back.
We're doing this already, huh?
The best ability is availability, Gerald, and he hasn't had it.
And we've played 2 games. I get it. Like, I want to see him out there too. I want to see what the new starting lineup can do. I want to see more stable rotations without having to put Damian Lee in with the starters and further hurt a bench that needs help. I totally get it. But like, man, the whole tripping over his own shoelaces thing. Every single injury is a contact one. At least he's taking hits that's keeping him out. If he were like running out there like AD and like twisting his own ankles or like just shattering like glass at every opportunity, that'd be one thing. I'm not doing this after 2 games. I'm just not.
He is the new TJ Warren. Gerald, if you didn't show up for the first 2 games, we'd be like, where the hell is Gerald? Why isn't he showing up? Like,
Espo, you and I both know he's not the new TJ Warren. Okay.
Well, he can speak English.
That's not what I'm talking about. But
no, it's not speak English. It's just he can speak. That's where you stop right there.
Yeah. He can speak.
He wants to speak.
Either way, back to the injury report. Also, Ish Wainwright is out with with low back pain. But you guys, you just glossed over the lead of the injury status updates. Landry Shamet is going to play tonight, and he's going to drop 30 points. And Saul's going to have to do whatever it is that the chat and all of us come up with as his punishment. It's going to be a fantastic Sunday night basketball game, you guys.
Lindsay, it's 35 points.
Whatever.
So don't be trying to shortchange it. Okay.
That's
I forgot we changed that.
You did double back on that one, didn't you?
Second of all, it ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
You're not buying the 35-point revenge game against his former team, Saul?
Don't you remember what he looked like in the preseason, Saul?
No.
He did have that one good game.
He did have a really good game.
It would be the first one in 2 years.
Oh man, see, he already went back on his word.
There's a
I
better
didn't say
chance.
his name.
there's a better chance that I show up early to one of these remote shows than Landry Shamet drops 35 tonight. All right.
Oh man, it's brutal.
I don't know, but it'll be good to see those two guys back out there. Hopefully Cam remains healthy throughout this one, doesn't injure anything further, and hopefully we get a good game out of Landry Shamet. On the Clippers side of things, no injury reports to update you guys on, so they have a clean bill of health over there. One final note, we did mention this on Friday's pregame show, but Chris Paul is now only 2 assists shy of that 11,000 career assist mark. And after reaching that, which in theory should be tonight, he will be the first player in NBA history with 20,000 career points and 11,000 career assists.
So, Gerald, I want to go back to this just for a split second because I gave it a lot of thought over the last couple of days to try and explain to people what Chris Paul is right now versus what we hoped he may be, or maybe that he could still be, but I don't think he will be. It's like, I go play basketball with my kids, right? And 3 or 4 years ago, I used to be able to just go right by him and get it to the hole, like no problem. Right. Now I have to think harder and smarter about every little thing that I do on the court, which ultimately slows me down. Now I can still beat their ass, but it ain't as easy as it used to be. And that's where I think Chris Paul is right now.
Hold on. Did you just claim it's your brain why you're slower on the court? Is that what you just claimed?
No, my physical activity.
Oh, okay.
I have to think more because I'm slower physically.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
clearly
you having to think more slowed you down.
Very much.
Look, I mean, it's entirely possible. Like I've said, it's possible he doesn't have that burst to create that separation with his patented kind of pull-up move that we see him do from the elbows for the last 2 years. It's possible. We haven't seen much of it in the first 2 games, but again, I don't want to leap to conclusions about that because we haven't seen him really try it. We've seen him try a couple of times, but other than that, a lot of the shots he's taken are late shot clock scenarios. That 1-3 that he had on the wing that wasn't even close. He had to fire up with 2 seconds left. They put him in a bad spot in that situation. I think it's very much by design that we're not seeing a lot of that. I think it's the onus is on Mikal, DA, and Cam if he were out there to create more of the offense. So I do think that it's intentional because this is something they've been telling us going back to exit interviews and all through the summer and training camp. This is what we're going to do. We're going to play Chris off the ball more. We're going to let other guys create more. So I don't want to, after a 2-game sample size, say that he's washed or he can't do this, he can't do that. I think he still can. I just think for now, the focus is elsewhere.
I don't think I'm going to say he's washed anymore, but what I will say is it's like watching Michael Jackson do the moonwalk for the last time. It's still cool. It just ain't as cool as it was 30 years before that.
That's rough, man. Ouch.
It's just that back.
It's a
little sticky right here. You just gotta, let me turn this way and see if I can go this way. No, wait. Let me go. All right, I got you.
Is there a chance that this is an Occam's razor kind of thing? The simplest answer is probably the right one. They've changed the way in which they bring the ball up. He doesn't have the ball in his hands as much. Is there something to that where he's having to adjust to the changes in the way that they're handling the offense that may actually be contributing to this rather than, oh my God, he fell off the cliff, Right.
It's when you've been doing something a certain way for 17 years and in year 18, it's very much old dog learning new tricks type of scenario. But And I think they spoke about that during training camp as far as the adjustment process, getting used to that. Monty said in preseason, as far as them bringing the ball up and Chris playing off the ball, he would rate it about a 3 out of 10 as far as where they're at with progressing that part of their games. So I think it is going to be a work in progress because he is used to having the ball in his hands a lot. That makes you more comfortable. And when you're playing off the ball a little bit more, it's a different feel. So it is like Monty made the comparison, like Peyton Manning with the Broncos. He had to check down a lot later in his career because that was just the reality of the situation. And he had to learn how to do that if he wanted to still be successful at that point.
Like, I love that the chat gets surprised when I say something marginally intelligent, like referencing Occam's razor. Like, that's like, oh, he's slightly educated. Who would have guessed? So
keep them on their toes, Espo. It's all good. We do have a super chat from Psycho Blue. Thank you for your super chat. They said, Basketball Cthulhu hopes for the best tonight. We need our big three to be Book, Ayton, and McHale now. Hopefully no more CP turnovers. I even added a little finesse on that one.
I know.
Thank you for the super chat.
That's amazing.
Yo, if you guys haven't seen our TikTok with that sound, you should go see it. It was so funny from the Cardinals game last week. Hilarious. We're on TikTok, PHNX Sports, so check it out. All right, let's talk a little bit of sports betting. Who do you guys think is going to win tonight and by how much?
I'm taking the line, which is Suns by 1.
Okay. I've got Suns by 2, so pretty close to that.
I got Suns by 3, so 1, 2, 3. Espo, you care to take 4?
And I say, screw the line. Let's go 10, baby.
Oh, man.
The real Suns show up tonight, and we get a taste of what we've been missing so much.
Okay. I'd be here for that.
Yeah, no, not mad at it at all. We got Hello, Clippers by 6. Psycho Blue has Suns by 4. Also, Hello asked if they were allowed back in the room after I yelled at them on Friday. Yes, of course. You're always allowed. That was Chelsea, not me, by the way. So what do our friends over the DraftKings Sportsbook app and Vegas think about tonight's game, Espo?
I think it's this is them going, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, usually the home team gets 2 points. And this one, they're like, literally, we don't know what to expect from either of these teams right now.
Which, I mean, fair. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. We got a couple more. Hey Dot has Clippers by 10. Isaiah has Suns by 15. I do think this will be a closer game than what we would like to have on a Sunday evening before the Monday scaries, but it'll be an entertaining game, that's for sure. You guys putting anything else down on the DraftKings Sportsbook app? What wild bets do you guys have planned for tonight?
Well, just to back up my Chris Paul is not washed sentiment,
Okay.
I do have Chris Paul scoring over 13.5 points tonight at a plus 110.
All right.
And I lacked all creativity, didn't see Saul's pick, and did the same exact thing.
Saul said, yeah, you can copy my homework, but change it up a little bit. And Espo turned in the exact same paper.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hopefully.
Now we're both going to fail.
I was going to say, hopefully you both win, but we'll see. I have Chris Paul recording a double-double tonight at a plus 175. I think because it's a guarantee that he's going to get that 11,000 career assist mark. He's going to reach that tonight. He's going to play a little bit freely. And I think he knows that somebody has to help book out a lot more tonight and DA out a lot more tonight against this team. So that's what I'm going with. Gerald, what you got?
Yeah, I got minus 45,000 that the Clippers mascot creeps someone out. And honestly, I should have probably just gone minus 10,000 that Gerald stays up too late writing and watching the House of Dragon finale. Because whose idea was it for a Sunday 7 p.m. game? Those should be illegal. Can we not move it up a few hours on a Sunday and let everyone go to bed early?
Not when the NFL's going on.
No, yeah. You forgot about the other sport that's going on right now.
I don't care about that sport. I'm talking about me.
And pretty much at least half of the people in this stream chat here, Gerald. That's why we have a basketball show.
Well, it's also why we have multiple screens.
Yes.
Yeah, but we like basketball the best.
Sure.
Basketball is just one. There's no 1A or 1B. It's just one. Everything else is 2 and so on and so forth. Anyway, Espo, you got a game for us?
Oh, I do. Emma, do you have the graphic ready? I put it in there, so just click it. There we go. We're playing tailor-made. The premise is simple here. First off, I actually was late to the show because I was listening to Midnights for the 14th time this weekend, so I couldn't show up on time. But the premise is simple. I'm going to give you a quote. You tell me, was that Taylor Swift or was that an NBA player? All right?
Okay. All right.
All right, the first one. You have to get through the good times and the bad times to get where you're trying to go. Taylor Swift or an NBA player?
Taylor Swift.
NBA player.
T Swizzy.
That was Allen Iverson.
Oh, dang.
All right, next one. Don't you know the cash ain't the only prize?
That's got to be Taylor Swift. That's way too.
Taylor Swift.
I don't know. I'm going NBA player.
That was Tay-Tay. Thank you very much. Never say because limits like fears are often just an illusion.
Wait, I wasn't listening. What'd you say?
Never say never because limits like fears are just an illusion.
That's Taylor.
That's Taylor.
That's NBA player.
Never
That was
say-
Michael Jordan.
Oh my God. I suck at this game.
Next one. I don't start shit, but I can tell you how it ends.
I want to say that's an NBA player, but low key, I think that's Taylor.
Taylor. I'm going to go Taylor.
I'm going to say NBA player.
That was Taylor Swift.
Yes, I'm on the board.
Intimidation doesn't exist if you're in the right frame of mind.
Taylor.
NBA player.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go Taylor.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, dear God.
And the last one. It must be exhausting always rooting for the anti-hero.
That sounds like
Devin Booker.
Why does Taylor Swift sound like an NBA player? Why does this?
I'm gonna say Taylor Swift on this
That's Taylor
one.
Swift. It's got to be, right?
That was Taylor Swift. Congratulations! You only all got the one right at the same time. That was more challenging than I thought it was going to be for you guys.
Single answer of mine was Taylor Swift.
You went
I got 3 out of 3.
You went 3 for 6. So congratulations.
You know, Saul, that's a really good strategy. I should have taken that a page out of your book. That's a good strategy. But for real though, why does Taylor have so many lines that wouldn't surprise you whatsoever if an athlete said it?
I couldn't tell you one of her songs, not one.
Because they all speak in cliches. That's why.
Oh.
So do athletes, Gerald.
Yeah,
you write
that's what I'm
quotes
saying.
that are all in cliche. Life is a
Nice.
cliche, Gerald.
That was my point.
I liked that game. That was fun. I think we should play that one more time.
That was good.
Clearly, we all still suck when it comes to music. We learned that on Friday.
I went 5-1. I don't know what you guys were doing. I went 5-1.
Sure, Gerald.
Run back the tape.
There is no tape, Gerald. This is all digital.
Yeah, there's no tape.
Yeah.
None at all.
Run back to tape.
I'm gonna play it back.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the pregame show. Don't forget to meet us right back here after Suns at Clippers wraps up. Until then, have a great time watching the game, and we'll see you later. Bye.